So I'm glad you're with us today because it's a busy news day with all this Ukrainian stuff, and I'm going to put it into perspective for you. I'm going to tell you things that are true, that there's no two sides to that story, and when I don't know if something's true, I'll tell you that. So at the end of my monologue, and we have a very, very good guest who will lend his expertise, you'll have this whole story down. And you won't have to listen to hours and hours and hours of BS, some of which is just insulting. I had to turn the TV off today. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I'm going to strip it down. The basic controversy is about a president of the United States dealing with a foreign nation on a matter that is happening in the United States, the presidential election. That's the overarch, okay? Now, that's not prohibited by anything. So I've gone over the transcript of the call between President Trump and the Ukrainian president. There is no constitutional violation in this call. There is none. And anybody who purports there is not telling you the truth. Now, maybe it's their opinion that through some kind of machinization, that the overall theme of the Constitution is violated. I don't know. But there's no violation of the Constitution. There's no high crime. There's no misdemeanor. Not there. Period. Secondly, the other aspect of the story, and this is the Nancy Pelosi aspect, is that by bringing Ukraine into American politics, you quote unquote hurt election integrity. Hurt election integrity. That is an opinion, not a fact. It's not a crime. It can't be proven or disproven. It's an opinion. And if Nancy Pelosi or anybody else thinks that President Trump hurt election integrity in 2020 by asking the Ukraine president to look into Joe Biden's actions while Biden was on Ukraine soil, okay, I can understand that opinion. I don't endorse it, but I can understand it. And the reason I don't endorse it is because I would have done the same thing had I been President Trump. So if I'm running against Joe Biden, and he may be, I want to get all the information about Joe Biden I can get. And if the president of Ukraine knows that then Vice President Joe Biden did something dubious, nefarious, whatever it may be, in his country, I want to know about it. I'm running against the guy. That's called ops. Every politician does it. Ops on your opponent. Find out what the man or woman has done so you can use it in the election. Now, Joe Biden has admitted, we all know it, you all heard the soundbite, it's been played over and over and over again, that he went to Ukraine as a vice president and told the government there, if you don't fire a prosecutor, you're not going to get $1 billion in loans. Biden admits he did it. Told the Council on Foreign Relations, we went over it yesterday. That's certainly an ethical violation because his son was being investigated by said prosecutor in the Ukraine for an association with a company that was under all kinds of scrutiny, Burisma. So the prosecutor was fired at Joe Biden's behest in Ukraine. And you're telling me that a president of the United States doesn't have the right to know what happened there? It's absurd. Particularly because, and this is clearly spelled out in my new book, The United States of Trump, the president believes that the Obama administration, along with the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton, colluded to set up that Russian situation and the Mueller investigation. He firmly believes that, Donald Trump. And I spell it all out in the book, what Donald Trump believes. Remember, the subtitle of The United States of Trump is How the President Really Sees America. And one of the things that he believes is that Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the DNC all got together to try to destroy his campaign, and after he won, to try to destroy him. Donald Trump believes that. So if that's the truth, and it is, why wouldn't the president want to settle some scores? Now, Mitt Romney says it's terrible that you would even involve a foreign leader in American politics. Again, Senator Romney is entitled to that opinion. I think it's naive. And knowing where Donald Trump is coming from, that he's furious that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and all of them got away with trying to hurt his campaign and hurt him after he was elected. Absolutely furious about it. That's what drove this call in July to the Ukraine president. Plus, he's looking ahead to Biden. Okay. Now, there are some things that don't stack well for Donald Trump. The fact that before he made the call to the Ukraine president, he froze $391 million in military aid. That doesn't look good. That's the truth. It doesn't look good. But in the transcript of the conversation, there's no, well, you better do what I ask or you're not going to get the money. So it doesn't look good, but you can't impeach on doesn't look good. All right? Now, the Associated Press, and this goes out to every newspaper, and this is why we really have a problem in the United States. The Associated Press writes up the release of the transcript, and I'm going to quote you the second paragraph in the article. AP. In the call, Trump raised allegations unsupported by any evidence that former Vice President sought to interfere with the Ukrainian prosecutor's investigation of his son Hunter, unquote. That's a lie. Joe Biden admits he interfered, admits he put pressure on the government of Ukraine to fire the prosecutor. Yet the Associated Press, in its dispatch to all the newspapers in America, Canada, and other parts of the world, lies in paragraph 2. Nothing can be done. But as a journalist, somebody who's been doing this 45 years, I cannot trust anything the Associated Press writes. And when I see the AP byline in a newspaper, I usually don't even read it anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. Okay, so Fox News is reporting that the whistleblower, the guy who broke this whole Ukraine call thing, all right, has a political bias against Donald Trump. It's all anonymous sources. I understand that the man's lawyer, the whistleblower's lawyer, one of them anyway, worked with some Democrats at one time. But I can't tell you whether this is true or not. We don't know. I don't know anything about the whistleblower. I think we will. It doesn't really matter now that the transcript is out. But again, did the whistleblower do it because he doesn't like Donald Trump? Maybe. But you can't say that for certain yet. Quinnipiac University issues a poll. Quinnipiac polling is this way. But this poll asks, do you think President Trump should be impeached and removed from office? Or no. Yes, impeach, 37%. No, 57%. Well, maybe that'll change on the Ukraine front after people digest the story, but I don't think so. And the irony of it all is that Nancy Pelosi, who has to spearhead the impeachment thing in the House, knows darn well the Senate will never convict on this thing or the Russian thing. Ever. In a million years. That would never happen. So why do you want to go through the exercise that will divide the country even further? Remember, political hatred in America is the highest it's been since the Civil War. And I know because my, what they call Q, is about 85%. That means 85% of Americans know who I am. And maybe 60% of those can identify me when I walk down the street. Well, people come over to me all the time, and wherever I go, and they're furious about this. Now, I know I'm only hearing from one side, but they're really angry. that this continues to go on, if the country is damaged by this kind of political stuff. Okay, now, why Nancy Pelosi will do it and make her country suffer in the process is the wear-down effect. We talked about this. Every day, every week, whatever, another thing about Trump, wear down, wear down, wear down. Independent Americans go, oh, yeah, I've had enough. Let's get somebody new in. We can't keep going through this. Wear down, wear down, wear down. That's what this impeachment thing would be. Okay? They hold hearings and this and that. But as I told you, there's no constitutional violation, so there's no reason to remove the president. You gotta have a reason. There's no reason. The whole basis of Donald Trump's behavior in Ukraine and other places is laid out in the United States of Trump. I urge you, if you want to know how President Trump thinks, and then he does things based on his thoughts, tweets, and everything else, you got to read the book. The book will tell you.